Hey guys, welcome back to the Jeep lecture here. Last time we finished off with this Jeep, and what we really had left here was some controls for the Jeep and the the minigun bullets here. And what I want to do is, I said I was going to do some research and come up with a solution for that, and I did. And what I want to show you guys is how to do that. Did a little bit of searching on the internet, and I came across this guy's website. And his name is Simon Mills. He looks like a tech artist, which is a rigger, and he has come up with this machine gun rigging Maya tutorial, which is really thorough, much more thorough than mine, because we're not focused just on the machine gun. We're focused on the whole car. He focuses on whole machine gun here, and he's got some tutorial files which are really cool. I highly recommend doing this. It's super technical. You'll definitely learn a lot. But he's got this Maya tool here. Go ahead and download that. It is a motion chain instant curve path. What it does is it attaches objects to motion curves or curves, and allows you to make things like bullet chains, tank treads, things like that. So go ahead and download that to your desktop. So let's go ahead and start this lecture here. First thing we're going to want to do here is come in here and delete these joints. We won't need those. Tap delete on your keyboard. I just shift selected those. The next thing you want to do is grab these bullets, tap W on your keyboard, and let's move these out. Now we're not going to need these bullets, we're going to do it a different way. So I'm just going to right click and hold, go to face, and delete all this. Tap delete on your keyboard. We just want one bullet left. So I'm going to come down in here, delete all this stuff, and you hold shift on your keyboard and tap the period or greater than symbol. It will select all the bullets except for that one, because I had selected faces of each one of these. Then I tap delete, and we just have the one bullet. All right, so we need to center the pivot on that bullet. So modify center pivot, and I'm gonna tap my space bar, go into my 4 view here, and my top view, and I'm gonna zoom way in on this bullet. You can also tap F on your keyboard. Select the bullet, tap F, and it'll zoom right to it. Tap E to rotate, and what we're going to do is rotate this bullet so it's straight. Tap my space bar again, go into this other view, which is side view, looks like. Or this is front. Just rotate it so it's straight. And there's good enough. Doesn't have to be perfect. Check it out from this view. It looks fine. All right, so we got a bullet here. It's got a bunch of history. Let's go ahead and clear the history. Edit, delete by type, history. Cool. All right, we have one bullet. Now, what we need to do here is, let's go ahead and continue with the bullets here. I'm going to use a special tool. Actually, let's come in here. I'm going to tap W, and that bullet is that pivot point's in the center there. I'm going to hit Control A, click on Poly Surface here, go down to Pivots, and click Display Rotate Pivot. Then when I click 4, as you can see when I zoom in here, there's a little green dot. What I'm going to do is go change my rigging drop down to rigging here. Click on rigging and click the joint tool. Hold V and click that dot, and it's going to create a joint in there. Click enter. Click enter to do that. Okay. Then I can make this. I no longer need that dot, so I can select it and uncheck display rotate pivot. Okay. Control A makes that come in and out like that. So I made it go away. All right, so we got some joints here and a bullet. So in order for us to pull this into a game engine, all the objects need to be skinned to joints. So that's the other really cool thing about this lecture that I'm doing, is that all of this stuff works for a game engine as opposed to just a film engine or film, which you could do a lot of crazy stuff, and it doesn't matter because it doesn't have to be transported through an FBX into a game engine. So let's all right, display animation joint size here. I'm just going to shrink these joints to about 0.5. Oops, sorry, 0.05. Just want them not that big. And then what I'm going to do is I need to make enough bullets for the minigun here. So I'm going to select my bullet, and I'm going to go Edit, Duplicate Special Option Box. And over here, I've put in a value of 0.15 in, this is XYZ, translate Z. And then I've come in here and I've put a value of 50. So go ahead and let's actually make that a little bit less. Let's just make that 40. Actually, you know what? 45. Let's do 45. Apply. And what that's done is it's now duplicated these bullets 45 times there. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing with the joint. Click the joint and then hit apply and duplicate the joints in the same amount as the bullet. So each bullet has its own joint. Alright, so let's go ahead and skin these bad boys. All the bullets are already selected. So what we can do is we need to skin the bullets of the gun. This is a quick trick. Hold shift and select all the bullets. Actually, sorry, we need to attach all the bullets. So select all the bullets first. Drag a box, select all the bullets. And we're going to go to modify, go to modeling and go to mesh combine. Then if you hold shift and drag a box over all the bullets and select all of them and change this back down to rigging and go to skin and we're going to do bind skin option box. We're going to change our max influences to 1. And what that's going to do is to make sure that each joint is only skinned to 1 bullet. Apply. So now you can do a test. You can grab a bullet in the middle of some other bullets and move it, and lo and behold, they have all flooded to 1 bullet. Pretty handy. All right, so we got our bullets. Check my little checklist here. Okay, so now we need a curve for these bullets to follow along from the chain gun. As you see, the bullets come out of this box here, and they end up in the chamber here. So let's go ahead and draw a curve. The way the script works is the script pulls these bullets along the curve. So let's go over here to curves, and we're going to create the curve creation tool here. It is EP curve tool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to one of the corners of the box here. If you tap 4, you can see a little corner here. If you hold V, you can click a little X and it will snap to that corner. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the chamber. So I'm tapping 4 and 5 to switch from wireframe to Control Z. I'm just looking for a corner here. Kind of hard to see, but I see it there. You hold V and then tap enter. So as you can see, we now have a curve, which is a straight line, so not an actual curve. And it's got 2 points on it, a front and an end point, and those are attached all the way. All right. Now what we want to do is I can right click on this curve and go to Control Vertex, and it actually looks like it did give me another control vertex here in the center. So what I'm going to do is just move this out. Oh, it actually gave me one more. Look at that. Let's not move that out. Let's move that up, kind of around, and I can select this one, kind of move it around to give it just kind of a natural shape. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this curve and I'm going to move it over into the center here. W to move. And I'm going to pull this down into the bullets because I want my bullets to start down into. That was a mistake I made the last time. And let's just pull this curve. Just want this to kind of look like it's coming from in there. And then this needs to look like it's going into there. So I'm just going to pull this up. Give it a little bit of a natural curve. Come back down in here. Same thing into here. I'm going to pull my curve down into there. Definitely want the bullets looking like they're going down into the chamber. All right, and let's hike this curve up just a little bit more. I know it kind of looks crazy, but ugh. There we go. All right, so now to smooth this curve out a little bit more, we're going to use a curve rebuilding tool. You can go to switch to modeling and go to curves, rebuild option box, and we'll just give it 20 segments. As now you can see it's super smooth, and you can go through here and you can really adjust that if you want. But this is a nice, good, smooth curve for our bullets to follow along, to go out of the box into the chamber. All right, I'm gonna check my cheat sheet again, and all right, Java skin. All right, so I gotta skin this curve. All right, so one of the things we want to do is we want to skin this curve, because as we rotate our gun, we want the curve to follow along with the gun. Okay, and crazy enough, you can actually skin curves, which is awesome. So I can use the curve points to attach to different joints. So I'm just going to select my curve, tap T to make the manipulator there go away. Hold Shift, select the skeleton, and let's change this to rigging. And we're going to go to skin, bind skin, and I'm just going to give this 5 influences fine and hit apply. Now our curve is skinned, and you can tell it's skinned because if we move the skeleton, the curve moves with it. So now let's go ahead and skin the curve. So now if I rotate this guy here, as you can see, the curve, the bottom of that curve pops out, and we don't want that. We want it looking like it's a chain that's attached. This end's attached to here, and that end is attached to the gun. So let's come up in here, and I'm going to show you a new cool tool here. I'm just going to click this button here, and it shows all of the curve points. I'm going to go to show and turn off joints, and then I'm going to select all those curve points, and then I'm going to go to Windows, General Editors, Component Editor. Okay. Now we have the barrel, which is rotating part of the gun, and we have body here. So first and foremost, what we need to do is we need to split all these curves between barrel and body. So let's go ahead and tap 1, enter, to give all the weights to the body, and let's go over to the barrel and then tap 0.5, enter, and then now they're split evenly, 50-50, between the barrel and the body. But now we need to attach these ends to here and these ends to here. So let's go through here, and I'm just going to tap 4 on my keyboard, select these 2 ends here, and then bring back my component editor here, and those will be attached to body 100%, and then I'll come up here to these ends, and these will be attached to barrel 100%. So now, as you can see, when I bring back my joints, when I rotate the gun, that curve smooth moves with it. It looks like there's a little bit of an issue on the end, but that's nothing that some skinning can't fix. So you can just give these a little bit more weights to go to there, and these a little bit more weights to go to there. But for the most part, that's moving the way we want it to. Okay, so now we have our bullets, we have our curve. Now comes the magic. Okay. Yeah, now comes the magic. All right, so let's save this file. Save scene as. I'm going to save it as Jeep 6 here. And now let's pull in our script. The way you pull in the script is you click on the script editor, which is this little button down here. I'm just going to delete this stuff. And I downloaded that script to my desktop. It's called Motion Chain version 2.0 or .rar. Download WinZip and install that. I'm not WinZip, 7-zip, and install that. Then you come to your little menu here, 7-zip, extract here or extract to this folder. When you go in the folder, you have this motionchain.py. Drag that into Maya, into your Python. Make sure the Python tab is selected here. Then click your custom tab here, and I've already done it twice, but you can click Control A in here and select everything. Middle mouse drag to your tab here, and it creates you a little icon for your script. Then you click the icon, and it pulls up this little tool. Now this is the tool that Mr. Simon Wells, I've actually heard that name before, Simon Mills has created, that you can download off of his site, again, right here. And this is a nifty little tool, and what it requires is two things. So it requires a curve path, and then it requires actually three things, and then an up object, and then objects to attach to that. So let's go ahead. We need one more object here, which is going to be a locator. Okay, just click that, tap up, move it up, and I know we'll just move it up into the top here. So that's selected. That's going to be my up object. So I select that. See locator 1. Click the curve, set curve path. So I've now set those two. Now all that's left is the bullets. So I select the joint and then click populate. And as you can see, what that's done is it has attached those bullets to the curve, which is really cool. That actually looks like it's coming in here. We got bullets pointing the opposite direction, which is not good. So let's grab this little guy and move this over here. You know what? I'm going to bring back I'm just going to undo that. And I can't undo that. So what I'm going to do is just reopen my file because there's some other. That's why you save right before you do stuff. So let's go back. Let's go to custom, bring back my tool. Always make sure you save right before you do stuff. And I need to make a locator again. So let's bring that up here. So there's some options in here. We want to make sure those are set right. So let's set the up object. Again, set the curve. Select our bullets. So we want those facing the opposite way. So I'm just gonna let's try inversing this. Ha! It worked. Perfect. Love it when stuff works. Okay, except those bullets are facing a little down. Actually, that looks pretty good. Now we can adjust those bullets by moving this around. And now they're really looking like they're supposed to look, which is super cool. That really worked. Okay, cool. Now another cool trick here is you selected this guy and you come over here to cycle. And with cycle selected, if you middle mouse drag, the bullets will feed into the deal there, which is super cool. And since that curve is skinned, when I move the Jeep, the bullets move with the Jeep. And since we skin the curve, when I rotate this, those bullets nicely move and stretch the way they're supposed to. Remember, we had a little bit of a skinning issue there, but no big deal. And then they also, in any situation that they're in here, they can rotate into the thing. And this can be keyed and animated by animators, which is super cool. All right. So now let's go ahead and save our scene. Just going to save this as 7. All right. A couple things we need to do here to finish up. Let's grab all those joints again. Whoa. That looks crazy. grab all these joints, and what we want to do is skin these into skeleton. So let's tab P, parent those to the main rig here. Oops, actually, let's not do that. Let's leave those as is, because that's working how I like it. Yep, let's just keep that as is. And then we want the gun, that we want this thing moving with the rig. So let's since the bullets move with the gun, we're going to select the joint here, shift select the controller, and go to constrain and parent. So now as we rotate this, the locator moves with it, which is really cool. Alright, so we're just going to give this some basic controls going forward. Easy stuff. Let's go to curves. I'm just going to create a curve. And some people do these like big curves. I'm just going to do like a small curve. And let's duplicate another one. And I'm going to hide my polygons here because I don't need them. Control D to duplicate. And I'm just going to V-snap this to there. Rotate this 90 degrees. And let's go ahead and bring back our polygons. Take a look at the tire. And that's good for the tire. And typically I like to make those a little bigger for tires, so you can grab them. There you go. Alright. And I'm just going to duplicate this. Control D. V-snap that to the tire. And then I'll shift select these, Control D. And I will move these on over, and one at a time V-snap them to the tires. Let's take a look at were the back wheels bigger than the, goodness, yes they were. So hide my polygons, select the back wheels, show all, R to scale, scale them both at once, and I got some tires. Alright, easy peasy. Now let's go ahead and do the minigun, show polygons, and I know we're going to need something for the steering wheel, so we'll go ahead and snap one to the steering wheel here, and then we'll also need one for the minigun, and then we'll need one for the barrel. Let's bring back our polygons. Alright, so we're just going to rotate this, scale this, and I think that was, let's see, looks like it was 45, so 45, enter, whoops, negative 45, negative 45, enter. Oh, it's not. It's 50, negative 50, enter. Cool. Got the steering wheel. Alright. Now let's do barrel. Now I wonder what's rotate. Yeah, the barrel, that's right. Okay. This is going to be 45. Okay, maybe not. Maybe 90. And we're going to tap R, scale that down. And then we have our minigun controller here, and I actually don't mind the size of that. Let's just keep that as is. That works pretty well for me. Alright, so let's go ahead and attach all these. Show polygons. And first of all, we'll show our joints, hide our joints. Gosh, let's just try to hide everything. Show none, show NURBS curves. So we're going to select all these. Now, be very careful here. Hold Control and deselect the minigun NURBS curve. Okay, and we're going to go Edit, Delete by Type, History. And I don't think we want to do Modify Freeze Transformations. I think what we really want to do is lock and hide these scale nodes. Right-click onto these and lock and hide. We just want to keep scale as is. And for this one, this guy's only going to be rotating this way. Actually, we need to leave that as is. Okay. So now let's bring back our joints. And let's constrain these. So, what? Something funny's going on here. Oh, never mind. Show none, show joints, show NURBS curves. Okay. So, and I'm going to bring back I'm going to make it a little bit better. Display, animation, joint size. I'm just going to bring back my joint sizes a little bit so it's easier to select these. All right. So you always select the controller first, tap T to get rid of the manipulator, then select the control, constrain, parent. Okay. Now when I grab the controller, let's show polygons, and I rotate the controller, the wheel will rotate. All right. So let's display, get rid of our polygons again. Come back over here and do this one. Controller first, tap T, select the joint, and yep, controller first, just holding shift to select these joints. Okay, and do the minigun, so controller first, and the barrel. Easy peasy. Okay, so now we need to parent some of these controls together. So let's select the, you know what? We're actually going to need a controller for the body of the Jeep too. I almost forgot. Let's do a square. And let's scale this. Let's just make an obnoxious controller for the Jeep. For the body. To show how obnoxious we can be. Alright. Now one of the things about square controllers that are kind of tricky is they come in 4 parts. So you have to select the 4 parts. I'm just going to show polygons here. Show joints. You have to select the 4 parts, and then you have to go to modeling, curves, and then you go attach option box, and you have to do, instead of blend, change it to connect, and you don't want to keep originals, apply. So now you click it, and when you try and move it, it's jacked up. So just duplicate it, move it out the way, then select the original, tap delete, and then this one you can move. Well, we're just going to snap it. Show back our joints here. V, snap that to the center. Show back our polygons here. Now we have our obnoxious controller. And hide polygons. Edit, delete by type, history. And we can freeze transformations on this one. Modify, freeze transformations. All right. So then we select controller first, tap T, shift select the body, and parent. All right. So now when we move main controller, yep, okay, we need to start parenting some of this stuff together. So the wheels, should be parented to body. So shift select all the wheels, tap body, and P. And I knew that was going to break. Somehow, some way, these things are just, I'm just going to, yeah. All right, so what we need to do is open up our hypergraph, general editors, hypergraph hierarchy. All right, make this a little bit smaller. All right, so we have, let's select all of our wheels here, and we're going to group these, Control G. So now we have a group here, and then we're going to shift select the main group and tap P. So now as you can see, the group is now under Jeep, okay, or body. And then so that's the wheel group. This is gun group here, so I'm just gonna group these two, and then shift select the body and tap P. And then steering wheel's on his own, so let's see if that'll just work as is, which it doesn't. So just go ahead and group the steering wheel, and then shift select the body and P. And then last but not least, we need to group the body, and then I'm just hitting Control G to group these. Shift select the main controller, tap P, and now main controller should move everything, and it does. Show all, and now we have a rigged Jeep. Now all of these things should work. Oh, that is funky. Why does that do that? Okay, I know tires work here. Yep, tires work. And you can lock the rotates on these. So if you only want back tires to rotate in rotate Y, just come up here to rotate X and rotate Y, lock and hide. So now when an animator grabs this stuff, they can't rotate any other direction other than that. Okay, and we'll go ahead and do the same for that. Lock and hide, so this only rotates that way. There's a hole in the wheel there. And this is not going to rotate in Z. So we're going to lock and hide Z. And you can always get that back. This is only going to rotate like that. Alright, so what is the issue here? Why are those not doing what I want? That's a problem. Okay, let's figure that out. This one, this is good. That does everything, but this is a problem. Why is that a problem? Windows, General Editors, Hypergraph Hierarchy. Okay, so where's my wheel group? Tap up arrow to get to your groups here. Is that not directly under that? That is. What is wrong with that? Nerve square. Oh. Oh, I see. Maybe. Alright, so I'm just going to shift select my wheel group here. This group and this group, which is the gun group and the gun group and the steering wheel group. Shift P. And that pops them all out here. Let's go ahead and just group all those and then move that under the nerve square. So I'll select that group, tap P. Same problem. Why is that doing that? That's so bizarre. You know what I'll do instead? Control Z. I'm going to grab my NURBS controller, shift select these groups, and go to, actually I'm going to do them one by one. Shift select this group, go to rigging, constrain, parent. really, really odd. Okay, let's do the wheel group. Controller first, then group constrain parent. So these wheels, what the heck? That is so bizarre. All right, let me try something else here. Maybe it's this NURBS curve. Oh, I think I know why that's doing that. I think it's doing that because it's double parented. That is doing what it's supposed to be doing. Alright, so this works. That moves everything. But when we come down to this, this has a hard time. Get rid of these groups here. Alright, let's try just grouping these one by one. Parent. Oh, now that wants to work. Oh, no it doesn't. Never mind. I spoke too soon. It wants to move, but it does not want to rotate. It has a problem with rotating, which is interesting. Okay, let's try something a little bit more technical here. So let's try shift select all the tires, Control G. Now we have a group. So if I parent this group in, it's not going to let me do what I want. It does crazy stuff. It moves fine, but when it comes to rotating, it just goes crazy. So let's do this. So I just undid that. So what we're going to do is we're going to select that controller. We're going to select the controller, shift select the group, and we're going to do two constraints here, separate ones. We're going to do a constrain. We're going to do maintain offset to constrain point, which is for move, and then we're going to do a constrain orient, which is for rotate. Now let's test that. And it just does not want to rotate that, and I just have no idea why. So let's delete these constraints that we just created, and unparent Shift P from that group. Just not working. I just don't understand. I think it's because the square is driving the body and the body is driving the wheels, and the wheels are the joints are already moving those items. It's just so bizarre to me because that should work. Let's try. That should work. My mind is blown here. Alright, let's try something different here. Got all the tires, let's group those. And instead of putting it under the curve, we'll put it under whatever this is. So when we move this, that did nothing. Yeah, I'm kind of brain fried right now. This is not working. And I am at a loss. That should be doing that. Yeah, that moved everything, no problem. That's so bizarre. Well, I guess what we can do is go ahead and just do what we can. So I'm just going to group those. I'll group the steering wheel. And these last 4 tires, group those. And then what we can do is just shift select these. I mean, these should just parent under here just fine. When I select this, it moves around no problem. Rotates no problem. But the second I move this thing, moving is no problem, rotating is a problem. So the good news is I can move the Jeep around. So we'll just have to deal with it that way. I should be able to move it with this separate control here, which I can also do that. Just can't rotate it for some reason. I am not sure why the heck it's doing that. Might be the controller. Look at that controller going crazy. Let's try and get rid of this controller. It could be. Let's, where's this funky controller? Alright, I'm going to shift select my groups here, shift P. And let's get rid of this controller. And whatever that was, is that NURB square? Let's get rid of that. And locator, what's this? NURBS curve, and then group. Okay, we don't need that. Got our NURBS curves, and then we have the other groups here. Okay, so let's create a new controller. This time I'm just going to use a circle instead of going crazy with that square. It's not a boat, I know. Let's do edit, edit, delete by type, history, modify, freeze transformations. All right, select the curve, tap T, shift select the joint, skin, and let's check our binding skin. Actually, we're not binding. We're just we're constraining. So control. Okay, so constrain parent. All right, that should rotate that. Now let's attach our groups. All right, so first of all, we're going to group the main controller. Then we will parent that under the main control. And then these three groups, we're going to parent under that control. And it works. It was that funky controller. Thank God. Okay. And it was blowing my mind. I'm like over here going, what the heck, man? And this should be parented to this. That's odd. Alright, chain gun moves. Main controller moves. And then we have our body controller. Then we have our steering wheel, which does not turn anything. Awesome. So let's grab the steering wheel, shift select the, and then constraint parent. The steering wheel turns. All right, now we have full control. Add some layers. 1, 2, 3. And we need hidden, save. Hidden visibility will be off. This will be controls, save. And then we need mesh, save. Now controls, mesh will be on R. Sorry, R. Controls, let's go ahead and make green. And what we're going to do is drag a box. That's going to be joints. I don't know why it does that. That looks really cool though. Right click to hidden, add. Joints are now hidden. Polygons are next. Show none. Show polygons. Select polygons. Add to the mesh. Whoops, did I do that right? Add selected objects. Mesh, you shouldn't be able to select them because it's got that R on. Show all. We have controls. Oh, one more issue here. That curve. Let's see, this curve. We want to add to hidden the gun curve. Is there anything else going on here? And controls. Go to controls. Save this. Save. And the Jeep's ready to go. And we can grab Jeep main here. Move Jeep along. It looks like I still have some of those rotate pivots still left from when we did some of the rotate pivot stuff. Minigun moves around. And the you can rotate the barrel. Oh crap. We had attached the weighting of the barrel to the gun over here, so let's fix that. That needs to go to not barrel, but turret. So let's come back over here, turn back on hidden. Let's find that curve, display. Actually, show none. Show curves. And I'm just gonna control vertex here. Do show. I don't know. Show all. Turn off joints. Show joints. Show polygons. Okay. So all these, first and foremost, Windows, General Editors, Component Editor. Okay, so all of these need to go to body, 1 enter. Okay, and also that need to go to body are these 2 ends here. Actually, let's split these first and foremost. So let's bring these back up. Now instead of going to barrel, which we did last time, let's do that to turret. So we're going to do 0.5 on the turret. And then we need this end, these 2 little dots down here, to go to body, a full 1. And then we need these 2 little ones to go to turret, a full 1. And what you could do is you could blend these up. So this could be like, you know, instead of 50-50 between the 2, it could be like more so down here. And then once you get up here, like these could be more so up here. So it blends a little bit better. So let's turn back off hidden, show all. Now let's test that again. Okay, so now barrel just rotates barrel, and this does more of what it was doing. I can grab my control here, come over to cycle, rotate the guns in and out. You can animate and key that. Now does that rotate? Yeah, that control rotates with that, which is really cool. What else we got going on here? Steering wheel rotates the way it's supposed to rotate, and of course body here does what body's supposed to do. And this scene is ready for an animator. And that's all for today, guys. Thanks.